What's up guys, Jetpack Jeff here, and I'm going to show you how to go hunting for worms or live bait for when you're fishing. The first step for worm hunting is you need a container. I have a nice container here, but I have upgraded since I've already caught a few. You need a trowel like this. You need a holding tank. I have a bar of bait. It's a holding tank to hold them where you catch them. And you need a mass container of worms. Like such. Now, you don't have to have this many worms. I've been working hard for probably about half an hour and got this many, but I'm going to show you how to catch worms in your own backyard. Alright, step one. Find excess pile of leaves, such as here. Preferably near a log pile, preferably in a dark place. Step number two, move yourself to that location. Nice and quietly, using as little noise as possible. Step number three, as you can see, this has a lot of debris. Move such debris to the side. Look, we already have a worm already. Look at this bad boy. Look at this bad boy. Whew. You'll notice they're nice and silver. You gotta look for that slime coating. And this is a pretty big worm here, if you ask me, man. Ooh, look at this thing. And look at this spider here. This is a beauty. It's like a wolf spider, man. It's quite a spider. Just lost him. Step two, place your worm. Step 4, whatever. Place your worm in the container. Now, all you gotta look for is subtle movement. You look for just the slightest movement, like I have movement right here. Look at that, guys. Worm. All because I looked at the leaves. Actually, I'll come up now. There's 2. There's 3. So I've got 4 so far. I mean, it's just pretty much look for movement in the leaves. Pretty angle for you guys. Look at that one right there. Just part of the leaves. All I got to do is part the leaves. It's so simple. They like dark, moist habitat. Now you gotta look for is habitats. I like. Oh, look at that. One already. Notice they're really slimy, so you gotta be really quick when you grab them, like this. Boom, and there's your worm. And now I've considered it, and I'm thinking of starting my own worm farm. So if you know. If you have a worm farm or have started a worm farm, please comment below, because I want to collect worms, harvest them on a worm farm. So if you have done that, please look at this big bad boy. Ooh. Sometimes they'll be a little hard to catch, so you got to pinch them very lightly like a robin. Just wiggle them out. Just pinch lightly. Pull, and boom, there you go. Freaking fatty, look at that bad boy. Whew. That is quite a worm. He came out a little bit of trouble because he wanted to go back in, but nope, I didn't let him dig in. You look, the robins, again, just look for subtle movement in the leaves. Look at this big bad boy. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Boom. Got him. Another one. Just parting the leaves like this. Just parting the leaves like this. Look at this bad boy. Look at him. Look at him go. Whew. Perfect. And I mean perfect bluegill bait. They're freaking bite-sized. Look, another one. Boom. Wow, look at this guy. Feisty as ever. Yeah, I'm going fishing today, and all I'm going to be using is worms, because they have so many. Look at these. God, look at how, oh my god. Yeah, today's definitely worm day. Yesterday I went fishing, explored too many spots, and I used Senkos, nothing but Senkos. Today, it's going to be worm day. So, let's go fishing. Look at this, another worm. You gotta look for, where is it? I'm trying to look for, right here. If you can see a little bit of shimmer in the leaves. That indicates a worm. And pick him up. There you go. Let him thaw. Lightly pull him. This one happened to, it looks like it might have broken off. And if they break off, it's alright. Point is, you got a worm. Now, there's different stages of worms. This one happened to be pretty small. This worm happened to be pretty small, so this is definitely a juvenile, so I'm going to let this one back go. Because I only want big mamas and big papas, big worms, adult worms, so we'll let him live. We'll spare that worm. Because we want big worms. Now, this is a freaking killer, man. Look at that. Oh my god. Feisty as ever, man. And a little friend, companion, help him out. Now, this one's not full size. As you can see, it has ribs. It is not full size. However, it is still usable nonetheless. Granted, I like full-size worms, but and you'll occasionally see a millipede right there is a millipede. So, those are not good fishing bait. I've had some really aggressive ones that have tried to bite me. Here's another one. Look at this bad boy. Boom. Look at that. And he flails. And they let him go. Do the worm dance. Sometimes when we catch them, they'll do a little worm dance for you. So, and trust me, they will repopulate. So I always give it a few weeks though. There's another one right here, man. Woo! Just a fat worm, man. And one thing about these worms is you gotta get the soil for them. Ooh, this is the biggest one of the day. Biggest one of the day. Look how fat he is. Look at that fatkins. Look at that fatty. Sometimes you pick them up, you can feel their heartbeat, which is very interesting. Yeah. Another thing to do is turn over stones or boulders. There's another one. If you turn over stones or boulders, say this log right here is lodged in wood, right? Turn it over. Boom, you see if you got anything. Maybe by chance you'll have a worm, maybe you won't. You never know. Worms are also really attuned to vibration, and they can be drowned out by water. So if you, oh look at this bait bat. If you, after a rain, this is another one, you'll see worms on this pavement. That's because they were near the pavement because they like to be under stuff. Look at this big bad boy. Oh my god. You'll see. They're quite harmless. They can't bite you. They have no mouths. They can grow quite healthy in size. I mean, quite healthy. I mean, pretty big. They can grow. Earthworms can grow pretty big. Pretty ginormous in size. Now, that being said, there is a type of worm that you do not want to mess with. Not saying it's bad or anything, but there's something called the worm snake. And the worm snakes, they'll look like the biggest worm you've ever met. But trust me, they're not a worm. They're disguised as a worm, but they do bite. And they can be aggressive, depending on if you bother them or not. Now, will worm snakes be the same area as worms? Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't know. So we're cleaning this area out right here. I always like log piles, because log piles because of log piles, a lot of things decompose near log piles. And again, that's another perfect place for worms to lay out. And you can see I'm not going far for these worms, man. Look at this one. I'm not going, where is it? Right here. You can see him moving. They're just hiding under the leaves, man. They're just hiding in the damp, cool, damp air. Because they like it damp. I'm not going far for these worms, man. Sometimes you might have to comb over what you already looked over to get more. But they like dry, cool, damp areas. Now granted, you want to watch out for snakes too, because snakes also like dry, cool, damp areas. But yeah. I don't know how many worms I've found today, but it's certainly close to 50, if not 100, depending on if you... And now, they do grow. I don't know their exact lifestyle or whatever, but I'm interested to find out more. Comment below if you know, like, worm lifestyle and all that. Look at this other one right here. What a bad worm, man. Whew. Perfect bait. Now, if you don't have a trowel, that's alright. That's okay. The worm dance, this guy did the worm dance right here. You can use your hands. Just make sure you wash them afterwards, because they are slime coated. I'm not sure if they're carrying disease, but you still want to play it safe, regardless if they're, diseased or not. Always want to play it safe. So, I'm just finishing up here. Look at this log pile. And I still have got quite a few. That should give me several hours of bait. Maybe, depending on how fast, I fish with and get, bites. So it sort of will depend on how much fish I catch. Granted, pretty much all fish like worms, no matter what kind. But you gotta watch out for turtles too. Turtles will also eat your worm. You'll think it's the biggest fish you ever had in your entire life, but it's a turtle. I've had that happen to me multiple times, and it's not been fun, man. I've been to Florida. I live in Maryland. I've been a lot of places to fish, and I'm specialized in pond fishing. And if you looked at my other videos, my more recent videos, caught a lot of bass. I've had a good fishing year this year. But the number one bait I fished with was the Berkeley General. I actually caught a fish yesterday with that same bait, the Berkeley General, because it's a new bait for 2019, and Berkeley just recently released it, very, very recently. This one has a kind of defect in it. Look at that. Kind of interesting. Kind of like a fat stomach. Definitely still growing up, but we'll take it. What I'm gonna do with these worms is, if they're too small, let them grow up. Mercy, give them mercy, and let them grow up. Because a lot of times, they'll be small. They'll grow up, and they'll grow up to some of the biggest worms you've ever seen. There's got 3 worms here. So, if you like more videos like this, please comment, please subscribe, please hit that like button. I'm gonna go fishing in a few, when I finish up here, and I might do another video. I know my uploads have not been very consistent, but I'm working on getting more content for you guys, and new upload is coming very soon. Alright guys, one last thing before I go. Some of you guys say, how do you get soil for these? Do you use potting soil or whatever? Me? I don't need potting soil. You need dirt. All I gotta do, it's a little bit messy, but all you do is you look at the ground, you chop. Like you're chopping celery or whatever. It's all you do. And that basically makes dirt. Nice dirt like this. It compacts the dirt. Small fragments like that. Boom. So there you go. Now you add the dirt to the worms. There you go. Worm heaven. Back out.